So here we are for the start of the Core Racing GT3 League. We are starting off at round 1 at the beautiful Silverstone circuit. Unfortunately, we missed qualifying, not being able to get in the server and having a few issues. However, as you see, your top 3 drivers being 650Ss made up of Jeffrey, Nicola, Martin is certainly destined to be a very good league, as we have the lights. All the drivers ready to start the race. The drivers has 5 red lights. And they are off. Looks like everyone getting off to a nice and clean start. Looks like the 2 NLR drivers going side by side. That is Nickel, Foggy and Martin Front. And that's a spin-off down in the back. I'm not sure who that was. Looks like it may have been Itamari. However, he has been shunted right down the order. Lux Peck that's going up the inside of Matteo. It looks like Darren Adams, his teammate behind him, is looking for a way through as well, as they all come piling through down onto the back straight. Very long straights here. Definitely need to work on your aero as well as long sweeping corners. Definitely hard to make right. So it looks like up into Mario's inside, not being able to make anything done. As Jeffrey's pulling a very nice gap over the 2 NLR drivers of Nickel, Foggy and Martin Front was side by side out of the exit. Nickel managing to get up in front with Chris Redmond just behind in the Porsche 11 GT3. Michael deciding to use the 488 as one of the only 488s in the entire race. Thomas Blackett, a familiar face to the Core League. So they all come through his long left and right landers, leading to the long straight. So they're all getting through nice and cleanly, single file. Back up to Nickel Foggy. Looks like Martin is under pressure from Chris Memon. Chris Memon looking for a move up the inside, not being close enough to make anything done. Martin holding out. Has Matthew just behind him in the very bright rainbow splatter style paint job. Seeing wisely down in 23rd place. Looks like Peg had a little bit of an issue down in 20th. No, it's back up to 23rd now. Looks like there may have been a collision down the back lot. It's Chris Redmond very close to the back of Martin and Michael even close to the back of him. Running into the back of him through the tight right-hander. They're coming down through the left. So they'll come down single file. Ross down at P11 goes, looks for a move around the outside of Thomas Black. Will he be able to make it done? He won't have the left hand. He's not been able to make it done there, so he decides to slide him behind. So we have 4 drivers there. Very close racing between all of them. Taylor Lane leading this bunch of drivers. Looks like Pekka is on the inside. Ryan's not been able to run slightly wide. Is still in front of Marcy, not being able to make anything. And that's a big collision there off into the old pit area. May have been slightly pushed there by Pekka. Race marshals will have to have a look at that. So we have Martin down through these S's to make the move done on Ross. Jeffrey pulling away nicely in the lead. Nickel just 1.5 seconds behind him. Luck still close enough for everyone that makes a mistake, he will be able to capitalise. They will combine to the tight left-hander after the pit entrance. Looks like Ross may have the run round the outside, decides not to stick it through the double right-hander onto the start-finish line. It looks like Chris Redmond managed to get past Martin Front. May have been a mistake there as he's dropped off drastically from Nickel Foggy. and he is coming under pressure from Michael Coles, not being close enough to make anything done as of yet. Ross McFarlane looking for a move up the inside, does slightly outbrake himself. That allows Thomas Blackett to get back up in the inside. However, Ross does look to put his nose up the inside, not being able to make anything done. Jeffrey racing his own race. So it looks like Midtman is closing down on Thomas Blackett. Looks like, actually no, that's Irwin putting pressure on Ross down at P12. Looks like he's coming under for it, which has allowed Thomas Blackett a bit of a gap now, 0.9 seconds. As we come back up to Lutz, he is just behind Martin Front and Michael Hill side by side. Managing to hold on. Looks like they are side by side. Bit of contact, that's caused Martin to run very wide. Managing to avoid any collision, however, has been punted down into P8. Jeffrey driving his own race, making sure he doesn't make any mistakes as Nickel is only 2.1 seconds behind. Just 2 seconds behind that, as it looks like Martin is side by side with Darren Adams. I think that was Darren getting up in front down P8. This looks like Taylor Lane is looking for a move up the inside, managing to make it done. So he is up into P15. Looks like there may have been a bit of contact there from the back of Coxey, however he has run very wide onto the final straight. That's dropped him down 2 positions. Chris Thorpe up into P23. P26, just 0.5 seconds, as Chris Thorpe is going side by side with back to the battle between Felix and Martin. Felix not being close enough to make a move. However, Martin did run slightly wide. He is unable to get his nose up the inside. Martin driving very defensive into this long right-hander onto the old pit straight. Being able to hold on. 5, 6 drivers there, all separated by about a second and a half. So they're coming down through the old turn. Jeffrey's still 2.1 seconds ahead of Nickel, very close between these two. Which moment just behind them as well. Matteo in the Lamborghini, one of the only Lamborghinis in the top 8, I think. So he's having a very good race. Martin front qualified P3, but has dropped down to P8. Looking for maybe around the outside. No, not been able to make anything done. However, he is on the inside. Maybe a little bit of contact has caused Blackett to run, and he looks for a big dive up the inside, managing to make it done. Thomas did look for a move back up the inside. However, he is under threat from Elwin as well. Not been, and that's a spin out there. Oh, that was very close, very well saved by Itamari. Being slightly tagged from the back by Irwin. However, managing to hold it. Felix closing down on Martin, who's run wide again through that corner. He seems to join the outside line a bit more than the inside. However, will allow him to have the inside through the next corner. Down Adams just 0.3 seconds off Matteo. Coming back down to the back between Felix and Martin. move up the inside, not being not able to make a move. Otherwise, it's very easy to get close to each other and be too close that you can cause a collision. So we arrive behind Martin. Jeffrey's still up in front as we head on to the 5th lap. Looks like there is a back marker there just in front. Not sure if that will make a major difference between the gap. Hopefully Jeffrey can get the bike nice and clean. As Jeffrey heads on to the 6th lap, sorry, I meant 6th lap. Your standings are currently Jeffrey up in P1 with Nickel and Chris Redman closely behind. Michael Curves behind in the front with AA. Lux Pecklage racing with Apex Predator Racing in front of Matteo with Darren, his teammate, just behind him. Martin up in P8, Felix Simons P9, Palm, Ross, Blackett, Yatif and Classens, Anaheim make up your top 15. So we are watching Martin Palm just 0.5 seconds behind these two, Martin and Felix Simons. Felix must have still not been able to make anything. Darren 0.1 seconds behind Matteo. He will have to slip through down the long straight. Not being close enough to make anything work as of yet. Decides to stick behind. Look for a move somewhere else. Looks like Matt Neal has gone into P23. However, did run wide from turn 1. May have had a collision there with Carly, who's collected someone else as well. Not sure who that is. Taylor Lane down in P28. He's having difficulty. Spun out through the right-hander before the final 2 tight turns onto the pit straight. Sorry, 3 turns. Obviously having difficulties with his setup maybe. Jeffrey up in the lead. Mark Fruit in P8. Looks like Nicky Foggy's down in P7 now. He may have had a spin out or something, but he has been punted right down the order with his teammate Martin just behind him. They may work together to try and push up the grid. There's Jeffrey still racing his clean race. Managed to gain 3 seconds up on Chris Redman, so he has plenty of space to him. Darren Adams still not been able to make a move. He's only 0.6 seconds behind. His Felix. Oh no, it looks like Nicky Foley has been punted down the order, down into P11. He has not had a very good run lap this lap. It started up in P3 at the start, however it's now down into P11. So it looks like his teammate Ross looks to move up the inside, getting it nice and cleanly done. However, Nickel is coming under threat from Thomas Blackett in P12 in the other red. Red 650S. Not been able to make anything done. Martin Palm looking for a run out on Felix. It looks like he may have it with his left-hander. He's just 0.1 seconds now. They are side by side down the long straight. Martin up in front of those as well. But managing to make it to those just up the inside there, being squeezed quite a lot into the curb by Felix. However, it is now looking for a move around the outside of Martin front. Will he be able to make it done? Yes, he will, as Martin slots in behind. However, may come under threat from Felix into the right-hander, down the old straight there, side by side. Martin Palm up in front as well. They're still side by side. It's very close racing, and there's contact. There's contact between them. Martin has gone off straight into the wall. It's unfortunate. It looked like Felix ran slightly wide and unfortunately made contact. Martin being dropped down into P16. May have sustained damage from that as well, unfortunately. We come back with Jeffrey. Racing nice and clean, 3.4 seconds now separating him and second. Matteo in P5, 0.6 seconds roughly off of Lux. So a big drop off there, and has allowed Darren Adams to catch up before having get a bit of a twitch there out of the corner. So not being able to make anything done. However, Martin Palm, I think that was actually an error with our overlay there. Nicky Foggy in P10. Just behind Ross, who has caught up to Felix. Just 0.5 seconds away. Darren Adams 0.9 seconds away from Matteo. Becker driving his race up in P14, looking for a way to keep ahead. However, has got Martin behind him, a very fast driver, not having the best of races so far. Is down in P15. Ollie Pegg in P21, driving a Z4, a car he does very enjoy. Unfortunately not been able to make much of it yet. Has overtaken Chris Thorpe, however, who is driving the 488, which puts him up into 20th. Matt Neal still in P23, 10 seconds behind. Very bright car though, very easy to tell who he is. Taylor Lane not having the best of races, however, is up into P25. 29 laps this is of the Silverstone circuit in Britain. Loss of laps very tyre consuming, especially through the faster turns. So we'll see a lot of strategy, a lot of drivers opting for the medium tyres. However, Martin Palm opting for the softs along with Erwin opting for the soft tyres, and it looks like Martin has just jumped into the pits and look for a change onto the mediums. Nickel 3 seconds behind Ross. Come through the line. I'm thinking they'll push up together. Jeffrey's still driving his own race, 2.9 seconds separating him and Chris Redman. Darren Adams still not been able to make anything done past Matteo, however he's only 0.3 seconds behind. He may look for a move up the inside. Not been able to make anything done as of yet. Also not close enough to be able to push Ross down the straights. I have a feeling run slightly wide through there, maybe getting the run out. P3, just 3 seconds off of Chris Redman. Nice shot of this left right. So it looks like Darren has caught up a lot there. 0.3 seconds off. Jeffrey's still up in the lead. Come back to Darren down the straight. 0.2 seconds separating them now. Looks like Matteo did look for an outside, however notices not close enough to go back to the racing line. Darren looking for a way to get past to catch up to his teammate Luca. Not being able to get anything done yet. Was 0.6 seconds off of Felix now. Looks like they have managed to close up. Chris Thorpe down in P21 was only 1.1 second over his didn't get a good run, out of the turn. So that's a very nice onboard shot. As we can see him coming through the corner. A lot of steering input, very hard to get right and be quick at the same time. So coming back up to Nicky Foggy still under 6 seconds behind. Looks like Martin has managed to gain back to 3 seconds, 4 seconds off, so he didn't get as much of a run as the Lamborghini. Very strong in the straight lines, that Lamborghini. Very fast. Makes it very difficult to overtake and go for a dive. However, it's a very hard car to drive, being mid-engine as well. Definitely does not make it easy. 4 seconds off still, not being able to make anything done. Lovely on one shot of Darren. Concentrate hard. Manages to nail that apex perfectly and get the exit he wants. Michael being nice and clean, running as close to the edge of the track as he can. Sure he can get every last 10th out of the track. Still not being able to make anything done. However, Nickel has caught up a lot to Ross, only put 1 second separating them now. Felix managing to pull about a second gap to them. Nickel managing to go past, Ross slightly letting him pass so they don't hold each other up. Felix was always hoping the two behind him continue battling. Darren still not close enough to catch up to that black Lamborghini. Down to Thomas Blackett, who's in P10. Looks like Martin Front may have had another mistake somewhere as he is down at P14. Martin Front managing to come out. Oh, after his pit stop, he decided to go for 2 sets of softs and is now in P13 after his pit stop. Darren not as close this time, so will not be able to make a move. As it looks like Peg may have had a mistake. Yes, it looks like he's taking a lot of damage. So he's down in P26. Taylor P24. Jeffrey taking it nice and clean, looking to catch up to the two drivers. As he ran slightly wide, slightly too close on the inside, sorry, managing to clip it down. Darren Adams still not being close enough. Jeffrey still taking it nice and clean. Chris not being able to gain much, is 2.4 seconds away now, managing to lap 2:01.9 last lap. Able to make anything of it as of yet, however they can easily bring those two together. Behind Foggy, both in the 650S. You see the top drivers, Jeffrey coming on to lap 11. Jeffrey in the McLaren 650S. Chris Redmond decided to take the Porsche. Michael Ferrari, BMW in 4th as well as 6th, Lamborghini in 5th, Porsche in 7th, and 2 McLarens in P8, sorry 3 McLarens making up 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. This looks like Darren, that might have been our timing there. I thought Darren may have overtaken Matteo, rather that was our timing not being overly accurate today as they come over the line. Martin still behind, not been able to get past. He's 5 seconds, however, no, he didn't lap faster than that. He's not closing the gap either. These drivers have closed up. Matteo closed up to Luca, just 0.5 separating them, as well as Darren, just 0.5 separating him and Matteo as well. It's a BMW sandwich for Matteo. There is a bit of breathing space. Jeffrey is only 0.3 seconds off of Nathan. Not being able to do anything yet. However, does have the inside for the left-hander. Nathan giving him plenty of space, does run slightly wide. That allows Jeffrey to have the place. However, it looks like Nathan does look for a move up the inside, not being close enough to make anything done. He does have the run out. Still not being close enough to do anything. So we come up back to Matteo and 4 seconds separating him and Luca now. Darren slightly dropping off, not being able to get past. they come on to their 12th lap. Ross has dropped off slightly from Nickel. Nickel obviously qualifying ahead of Ross. Driving nice and clean in that black, green, white 650. Down also in the green and grey Z4 like his teammate. Still not being able to make anything done as of yet. I'll have to wait and see whether he manages to get past Nathan. Unfortunately made a mistake through the right hander, not being able to get past or close the gap even. So coming back to Darren, 0.4 seconds separating them now. Right hander. Tomas looks like he's closed the gap. He's driving the Audi. Close up the gap to 0.6 seconds to Pekka. Pekka may have made a mistake. He's up to 2:04 last lap. Thomas lapped at 2:03. Thomas is right behind him. Not been able to make anything done as of yet. He's only 0.6 seconds behind. We're coming back to Nickel for P8. He's only 0.3 seconds behind Felix now. Will look for a move to get past. McLaren slightly underpowered down the straights. So he will be able to close the gap. And it does close it in the braking zone. He is right on the rear of that Porsche. Felix maybe getting slightly desperate now, looking for a way to get off in front. Still only 4 seconds behind, being able to get past. So they're coming down to the pit straight. Nicholas still in P8. Coming back to Matteo. Just 0.5 seconds separating him and Lux. Still 0.3 seconds behind. Thomas has closed the gap up a lot, just down to 0.1 seconds. Pekka looking to have the inside, which he does. Manages to block off Thomas from making a move. Abu's just behind, looks for a move around the outside, through Village. Not been able to make anything done as Pekka is up in front. Just sitting nicely behind, looking for a space somewhere else, maybe for the run down the long straight into the left, into the long left and long right hander. Coming down the straight, just 0.2 seconds, not being close enough to make a dive. Does run slightly deep, looking to try and make the run out, not being close enough. Not being close enough for the long right hander. Turn 7. Still just 0.2 seconds as we come on up to Darren Adams. He is right on the tail of that Lamborghini. Looks for a move around the outside. Matteo goes defensive, keeps to the inside. Darren slotting in behind, not being able to make anything done. However, may look for the run as Matteo does run slightly wide. 0.2 seconds, not close enough to make a dive. As they come through a tight section. Turns 16 and 17. Not being close enough, unfortunately, to make a move. So we come on down, back down to Pekka and Thomas fighting for P15. Looks like Thomas Blackett and Codstein has come into the pits for a change of tyres and fuel. Over halfway through the race. The tyres will start to be coming off. 0.5 seconds behind now. Nickel foggy behind Felix. They're coming down through the left looks like Thomas Blackett and Costia Home coming out with P15 and 16 as Nathan comes through turn 1. Looks like they're out clean, so we will not be able to close the gap. As Pekka, Jeffrey and Chris Thorpe also deciding to come into the pits. Matt Neal down in 25, not where he will want to be. Taylor Lane closing the gap a lot, managing to make the move done on, I think that was Jens Roos, who's also in the bright yellow Lamborghini Huracan. Very nice sounding car, the Huracan, the V10, screaming as it goes down the straight. As it does look like Jeffrey and Michael decide to come into the pit. I'm not sure whether Chris had a mistake, however he is down in P3. Lux and Darren deciding to come into the pits at the same time, as well as Felix. So we've had a big shuffle of the order due to the pit stops. Chris up into the lead now, however he has not pitted. Matteo in P2 now as well. Nickel Foggy not that far behind. Darren will be hoping that Nickel does catch him and does hold him up slightly through battling. So we have Jeffrey, Darren, Michael, Felix, Lux and Erwin in the pits, as well as Thomas Erzen now coming into the pits. So it looks like the grid has slightly spaced out. Chris Thorpe in P21, just off of Alfred Pell. 0.8 seconds separating them now as they come through turn 1. Sorry, not turn 1. That's the old turn 1. Chris Redmond's still up in the lead, just behind them now, so traffic may come into play soon. As they come through this right, left, this left, right of Maggins and Beckett. As it looks like a Huracan, I think that was, of Nickel Foggy behind. There's Nickel Foggy. That may have been Taylor Lane there. 2 seconds off of him, he hasn't pitted yet either. Chris Redmond sitting nicely in the lead. Does decide to come into the pits. We will have to see whether Matteo decides to come into the pits as well. Which he does. Nickel deciding to stay out a bit longer as well, and so does Ross. Those two both driving the NLR with Thrustmaster 650S. Redmond grinding to a halt in his pits now. Nickel now taking the lead of the race. Jeffrey 26 seconds behind. P4. Another P4 is in the pits. Nickel and Ross are up in P1 and 2. Looks like Alfred Pell is just behind Chris Thorpe. As they come through Brooklands and Luffield. As it looks like the other Jeffrey and Khalil disconnect. Matt Neal managing to close the gap to Peo. Just on the back of either Chris Redmond or Felix. I'm not sure who that is. That is Chris Redmond. So, caught in a bit of traffic. Alfred Pell, 0.7 seconds behind Chris Thorpe in the 488. Alfred Pell in the 650. The 650 slightly slower in a straight line. However, does have the advantage in the corners. Taylor Lane just 6 seconds off them, will be looking to close the gap. Slightly wide. Coming up to Nickel. does not decide to pit. We'll have to see whether Ross pit. Ross does decide to pit. That allows Jeffrey. Looks like he will be able to get past. Nichols deciding to stay out slightly longer, obviously looking for the overcut. Jeffrey not far behind now. Looking at about a 30-second pit stop, so we will have to wait and see where Ross comes out. As he grinds to a halt in his pit box. And Martin comes in as well as he shoots flames as he comes to the pit speed limit line. Chris Redman getting past. Michael Kirst in P6, however will be bumped up to P4 as he crosses the line due to Ross and Martin being in the pits. Looks like Nickel has got a big gap to Jeffrey, however has not pitted, so we'll have to see how that comes into play. Martin Palm catching up to Costy. Not being able to get past over there side by side through the final turn. Still side by side, both in the Z4, so they're going to be very equal down the straight on the Martin having the better run out of the corner. Costy will, however, have the inside. Managing to get past around the outside. Brilliant move there. And up into P12 as Lux Pecklage is just up in front of him with Irwin in front, who has not pitted as of yet. 2.5 seconds behind. Darren Adams in P5, so Lux may have had issues somewhere as he came into the pit just before Darren. Michael Curves in P4, 5 seconds off of Redman, who's 8 seconds off the leader before all the pit stones. Jeffrey as he comes through Maggie's and Beckett's. Nice and clean through there. Thomas Blackett sitting in P9 currently, 9 seconds off of Matteo, not been able to gain much time. Lux still just behind over 0.7 seconds. Lux obviously the faster driver out of the both, qualifying up in front, and that's Matt Neal being overtaken by, I believe that was Matteo. That's where, and it actually does look due to the pits that Darren did end up out in front of Matteo. As Nickel Foggy dives into the pit lane, being one of the later drivers to take his pit, as well as Taylor Lane in the pit lane, has just been overtaken by Peo. Look out, your provisional leader at the moment is Jeffrey, up in the lead, just 7 seconds separating him and Chris. Not a lot of difference between them, however, is enough of a gap where if he makes a mistake he may end up in front, as Darren Adams has caught up to the back of Nickel Foggy, who's in P4 after the pit stop. Very good pit stop by the boys working with Foggy. Darren Adams is closing the gap, however, just 0.2 seconds behind. Nickel opting for the softer tyre this time. May hope to make them last 10 laps, however may have to go for a double soft stint. Darren just behind him. Lucas still not being able to make a move up on Irwin. Then through the left-hander. Thomas in P15 closing the gap to Martin, who is a second off of Costin. So we head on back to the battle for P4. Darren Adams just 8.7 seconds separating them as they come through Maggots and Beckett's. Not been able to get much done, however Felix has caught up to them as well, just 0.9 seconds separating them. Chris Redman still driving a comfortable race. Michael slowly hoping to catch up, however did lose 2/10 along the last lap. Darren Adams is second behind now from Nickel Foggy. 9 seconds. Looks like Lux isn't able to make the move as of yet, is right behind. Irwin does look for a move up the inside, getting it clean. Nicely done, however Irwin is holding on to the outside as Lux does right at the inside curve, managing to get past due to the run out. However, Lux will not back down from that. He may look for a move up the inside, not being able to make it down through two tight corners. However, may look for a run down out of Church. As they come through the final corner, not being close enough to make anything done as of yet. That's 0.4 seconds behind. As they come through turn 1. Still not being close enough. As there's only 9-10 laps even between left of the race. Lux still not being able to get past. It's 0.7 seconds behind. We come on down to the battle for P16 between Pekka and Heinz. Heinz 0.4 seconds behind, rocking the Apex Predator Racing livery on the Lamborghini. Not being able to make anything done. Will he be close enough for a dive? He looks for it. Not close enough, however it does close a lot of the gap. Lamborghini fast straight line. Up the inside. He hops into the slipstream down the straight. May look for a move up the inside, does make the dive. Managing to get it stopped and gets past nicely. May look for a run out. Not being able to make it done. And has dropped off 0.5 seconds now. As we come on back with Ross, who's just 0.4 seconds off of Felix. Nickel into P4 still. Darren has dropped off slightly. And Ross has caught up to the both of them. A lot better place for him now. He will be a lot happy with this result if he stays where he is. However, he will be battling to get up and past Felix as well as Darren. As it looks like Alfred Pell has jumped into the pits. Actually, it looks like he's now leaving the pits even. As he will be leaving in P21 as tail lane comes from the final corner. Big gap separating both of them. Lux 0.1 seconds behind as they come through turn 1. Still 0.2 seconds. May look for a dive up the inside. No, not close enough. There we go, nice and defensive. Lux looking for the move. As Felix and Ross was side by side, Ross going around the outside, however Felix may have the run. No, he does not. Raining. Ross is up in front. We head to the battle between Lux and Owen, and it looks like Martin has caught up as well. Still on the softer tyre. Luca on the medium tyre, and Owen on the soft compound. Lux not been able to make anything done as of yet. Coming back down to Martin, driving his own race. Gets the move done, or as they are battling away. Heinz in P16 grown quite a gap to Pekka. Coming up to Jeffrey. He's taking it nicely through the final 2 turns as we are on board with a sort of helmet cam. See him taking it nice and smooth. Through turn 1 and turn 2. As we come back to the battle between Luca, managing to make it stick around the outside. Yes, he does. Martin now may look for a move. Does move slightly to the inside, not being close enough to make anything done. That's Alfred Pell into the pit. Martin still just behind, as well as Owen just behind him. May look for a move, has closed the gap now, just 0.2 seconds separating Luca and Owen. 0.1 seconds now. Not being close enough, may look for a dive into turn 3. To the tight hairpin. No, not being close enough to make a dive. Luca still holding on to P10 now. Into the top 10 has got Thomas Blackett up in front, just 1 second up the road. Owen 0.6 seconds behind, as well as Martin Palmer 0.5 seconds behind him. As looks like Alfred Pell managed to... and it looks like Taylor Lane is off. He's off through the hairpin. And it looks like he may have collected Alfred Pell as well. As he gets very sideways due to the grassy tyres. I'll have to see whether that is nickel foggy. No, it is... that would be Martin front, just behind Taylor Lane. Both these drivers in teammates. Managing to get past. Redmond in P2 is 5 seconds off Jeffrey, driving nice and clean, making sure he can close this gap consistently. He's only got 8 laps left to make a move if he decides, if he can get close enough. Martin can't, 0.3 seconds as they come through Meggett and Beckett. Being close enough to make a move, may look for a run down, pitch straight. Ross up in P6, just 0.4 seconds separating him and Darren Adams now. As he did manage to get past Felix, he's closing down on Darren. Just 0.2 seconds behind now, obviously on the softer compound, the faster tyre of the 3 options they get, soft, mediums and hards. Is able to get the move done, manages to hold it through turn 4 as well. That's him up the inside, up into the top 5. Darren will look to fight back. Martin in P12, just 0.2 seconds. May look for a move up the inside. No, he does not. Slightly sideways through there, like not being able to get past as of yet. As we come back up to Luca, closed down a lot on Thomas Blackett, just 0.2 seconds separating them now. As they come on down into, looks like they did look for a dive, not being close enough to make anything as of yet. Luckily avoiding contact, gets slightly sideways on the exit, however is still just 0.3 seconds off. Getting the best of runs out of that turn, is losing slightly to Thomas. Turn 1, 12 seconds of a gap up in front of him to P8, so we will have to see if Lux can get past and see whether he can gain any places. Matteo driving his own race, looks like he has got a bit of front damage, so his lap times may drop slightly. Nickel Foggy 0.7 seconds behind Michael now. He will be looking for a move for a top 3 finish. Ross 0.5 seconds off of him, has managed to make the move stick actually on Darren, so he, as Ross is up into P5 now. Nickel Foggy P4, just 0.5 seconds separating him and Michael. It will be very difficult to get past. We head on down. Thomas driving his own race. Erwin 0.9 seconds. We come back to the battle between P9 and P10, Thomas Blackett and Luca Peklash. Not being close enough, 0.3 seconds. Alvin may look for a dive. No! Not close enough this time. However, Thomas does leave the door open slightly. Luca does look like he wants to get past. Not being able to get his nose alongside, however, as he's just 0.2 seconds off. They come on down the straight. The Z4 slightly faster and also has the slipstream. Thomas goes defensive. Luca decides to stick on the outside. Plays it nice and safe. Sticks behind, waits for another opportunity somewhere else. Darren Adams 0.7 seconds off Ross McFarlane. Ross 0.5 seconds off Michael now. Very close between those two. Nickel on the soft tyre, Michael on the medium. Just 6 more laps left, nearly 5 more laps. Nickel closed the gap a lot, 0.4 seconds now behind Michael, not being close enough to make a move. Luca 0.3 seconds off of Thomas Blackett as they come through Maggie's and Beckett's. No, not being close enough to maybe get the run or get alongside, as Martin is just behind them still with 0.6 seconds separating him and Luca Peklaj. Coming back to the battle between Michael and Nickel for P3. Nickel not being able to get anything done as of yet. As you can see behind, Nickel just behind. Has dropped off slightly as we come on to Thomas Blackett. Luca does seem a lot better out of the final few turns. Seems to keep catching a lot. There's a lot of fire out of the back of Thomas's car. Right in the face of Luca. He's up alongside. Can he make it stick round the outside? No. May look for the cutback. He's only 0.3 seconds separating these two. So they're coming down the straight. 0.1 seconds down. Luca gonna look for the run. Sticks in the slipstream. Thomas going defensive. As we come. As we see Thomas Blackett up the inside and a little bit of contact there, unfortunately causing Thomas to spin out, dropping down into P11, maybe even P12, meaning Martin, Luca and Owen all gain place. Nickel Foggy, just 0.4 seconds behind Michael. You see, lovely shot of the wheel, you can see the suspension doing a lot of work down this bumpy straight. As he comes hard onto the brakes, not far behind Michael now. You see Jeffrey 5 seconds separating him, and Chris Redmond clearly has not got as much pace, taking it slow, making sure he is out in front and doesn't make a mistake. Nickel 0.4 seconds separating him and Michael. Owen 0.8 seconds off of, sorry, Thomas Blackett 0.8 seconds off of Owen and 0.5 seconds separating Martin and, as we see, Nickel Foggy 0.4 seconds separating him and Michael. Not being able to make anything stick as of yet, not being able to close that gap. Seconds separating them now, as we have 4 laps left of this race. Running slightly wide for Foggy, dropping off a little bit. He will have to work extra hard to gain that time back. Coming back to the battle between Thomas Blackett and Owen, 0.9 seconds separating them, and it looks like Jen Roos has caught up to Matt Neal in P22, just 0.5 seconds separating them now. Matt going slightly across the curb through the start of Maggie's. See Jen now 1 second separating him and Matt, the bright yellow Lamborghini. Matt Neal looks like he's going slightly defensive, however does go towards the outside. There, has gained a 1.4 second gap to Jen. So maybe made a mistake as we come up to Nickel, 0.3 seconds behind. They are now behind actually Matt and Jen's. So we'll have to see how traffic comes into this. Nickel, 0.5 seconds off. We'll have to see whether traffic will make a lot of difference. Nickel driving nice and clean, not having to fight the car through the faster turns. Car slightly out of there. The tyres maybe going slightly off. Lamborghini peeling out of the way nice and cleanly. Letting these two drivers battle it out. So there's 0.7 seconds separating him and Michael now. As it looks like Matt's weaving strangely down the straight. Not sure what that is about. May have made his tyres go slightly cold, and he is very sideways through there. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. Very good driving there by Matt Neal. Was very very well done to be able to hold that slide. That was a lot of angle there. He was basically drifting that AMG beefy V8 from the AMG. The Nickel Foggy 0.6 seconds down behind Michael, has dropped off slightly from this lap. We come on, as you can see, Martin catching up a lot on Luca, 0.3 seconds separating them now. Both driving the Z4, so they will both be good in the same areas. So we will have to see what will happen. Not been able to close the gap close enough to make a move. Foggy P still in P4. Not been able to make anything done. Ross 5 seconds behind him. So he is sitting in a comfortable P5 down at 1.8 seconds behind him. Ross did lap nearly a second faster than Darren that last lap, so he has pulled a bit of a gap. Foggy gained 0.5 seconds. He is very good through that turn 1. Able to be close enough to stick his nose up the inside. It's still on the softer tyres, so his tyres will be going off slightly. As he nearly gets a big slide through turn 4. As we come on down to the battle between Martin and Luca. Luca on P9. Martin on the softer tyre, 0.2 seconds behind as they come through turn 1 and 2. Still just 0.2 seconds behind. May look for a move up the inside. No, not being able to make it done. Starts to slot in behind. We come on back to the battle for P3. Nichols still only 0.56 seconds between the Martin Palm. 0.1 second behind as they come on down to the straight. Softer tyre definitely coming into play with the run out of the corner. They are side by side down. Who will brake latest? Both brake roughly at the same point. Flames both out of their exhaust. Martin giving Luca a little tap. Unfortunately running slightly wide. May have slowly broke himself. And getting past Luca. Luca will have a look for a move back. Nickel Foggy. And Michael being forced onto the grass by another 488. Nickel is alongside. Will he be able to get out in front? No, they are still side by side through the right hand, and Nickel slightly out in front of Michael. He will have the inside for this tight left-hander. He does get in front, does still stay slightly defensive. Michael still sticking round the outside, managing to keep there. Nickel not giving the most amount of lap space as Jeffrey does come onto his final lap. Nickel 0.3 seconds behind. Unfortunately did lose the place back to Michael as he's only 0.1 seconds down behind as they come onto their final lap. Nickel 0.1 seconds will look for a move up the inside through turn 3. No, Michael going quite defensive. Nickel will look for a move. Not being able to make anything done as of yet. 0.3 seconds still separating them as we come on down to Luca. Not being close enough to make any moves as of yet as we come back to this battle for P3. Very close between these two drivers. Nickel just 0.3 seconds behind on the softer tyres. His tyres will be more worn than Michael's. However, it is a softer and faster compound, so we'll have to see how that plays. Nickel driving nice and cleanly, looking for a move. 0.2 seconds separating them now. As we come to the battle between Martin and Luca, as they are side by side. Martin getting up in front again as we come on back to Nickel and Martin. Nickel 0.1 seconds, not being close enough to make anything done as of yet. Dropped off slightly through that braking point. 0.2 seconds now as they come on down to Maggie's and Beckett's. As we get an onboard shot, Michael going very slowly through there. Not sure whether he sustained damage or what, but he has gone straight at Maggie's and Beckett's, giving Nickel the place. Not sure what happened to Michael there. However, Ross may be able to close the gap as well as we come on back down. Yes, looks like Michael may have sustained. Oh no, I think he's run out of fuel actually. His engine is not running, so I think he's run out of fuel. Unfortunate finish for him. He's been punted right down the order, and it looks like Matt, who's down in P22, is pushing him to the line. Great sportsman-like conduct there by Matt. Lux not being close enough to make the move. We come on down to Matt, pushing Michael down the straight. Being a nice sportsman here. Pushes him down. Not being in the best place, being on the racing line, however, is pushing him to the line. Unfortunate for Michael there, not being able to finish his race with his own fuel. However, Matt is helping him out, which is good. As it looks like Jeffrey is your winner for this race. Chris Redman in second, Nickel Foggy third, Ross fourth, Darren fifth, Felix sixth, Matteo 7th, Martin 8th, Lux 9th, Thomas 10th, making up your top 10. We come on back down to Matt. Push them through the final turn. Very good sportsman-like conduct here. Very nice of him to push him down to the finish line. As you see, Michael Curves finishing in P13. I think Martin was going to look for the move and hopefully gain a place over the top. As you see, the final race positions are Jeffrey taking your round 1 victory of the Core Racing GT3 League with 9 more races to 8 more, I think, actually. Chris Redmond in second, Nickel third, Ross fourth, Darren fifth, Felix sixth. Matteo 7th, Martin 8th, Luca 9th, doing a nice burnout down the back straight. He's happy with his result. Thomas Blackett 10th, Irwin 11th, Costi 12th, Michael 13th, Martin 14th, Thomas 15th, Hines 16th, Chris Thorpe 17th, I think. No, that's Alfred Pell 17th. So I hope you have enjoyed this round 1 race. It has been very close, especially on that last lap between the leaders. And we will see you next time